Hello everybody, welcome back to Just Guitar Talk. And we're doing something not different at all from what anybody else is doing on YouTube as far as guitar related business is concerned. So I wanted to talk about my reaction to John Mayer's Last Train Home and talk about how I feel about Mayer and how I feel about the song and just give you my bit, Thank you for coming to my corner of the internet and listening to what I have to say about all this stuff. So, I really want to thank everybody for tuning in and watching this video here amongst all the other Mayer Last Train Home content. So yeah, let's talk about it. So I want to say that, I heard the clip on TikTok a long time ago. I think it was in April when it was first released. And I loved the keyboard tracks right away. It was like, oh, this is, some 80s Toto vibes, and I'm into it. I think we'd all come out of a long, hard winter, and I just needed some comfort food for the ears, and that Mayer song sounded like it was going to be it. So I was pretty stoked. Anyways, so it got released, and I listened to it, and I really like the song. I dig it. It's got those keyboard lines. It's very minimal. It's pretty minimal as far as songwriting is concerned. It's got very catchy keyboards. It's got those nice guitar licks in there. Some pretty bluesy guitar licks. I think we're all excited to see that Pink Silver Sky in there, and the chorus was catchy and had a cool video as well, and some surprise vocals from Maren Morris on there, who I really don't know that much about. But I liked her part in the song. And when it came out, I listened to the track, and it was only like less than 3 minutes or something like that. And I just listened to it over and over and over again, because I thought it was so catchy. And lately I've just done what I could to get my hands on some jam tracks, and there's a really cool jam track out there by this dude. Well, he did just the drums only. His name is Callum Edwards, and his YouTube channel is Callum Edwards Drums, and that's what I'm using for my drum track here, and then a little looper that I have on my Fender GTX 100, and yeah, I've just been jamming along with it, for days now. My neighbors are probably getting super annoyed, hearing the song over and over again. But just to give you a little history of me with Mayer, I wasn't always into Mayer, like a lot of people were. Well, a lot of people have always been into Mayer. I remember Room for Squares came out, I think I just got out of high school, and I had some friends who were listening to that, mostly the female persuasion, and they thought he was cute, and he was this cutesy singer-songwriter guy, and he was a guitar player too. And he really didn't register to me until the John Mayer Trio thing happened, and that was less poppy, more straightforward blues rock. And I was like, oh, okay, all right, this dude's a player, he's a musician's, he's a guitar player's songwriter or whatever. But I was like, okay, that's cool. He sounds good. And his voice was hard for me to get into for a long time, but I appreciate it now. And I didn't really get into him until the Born and Raised album. I read some great reviews. I read that it was very different from what he's done before. And the Queen of California song was really good. I loved the video. I loved the song. I thought it was very catchy. I liked the guitar solo at the end. And, I listened to the whole record, and I really enjoyed the whole record, and I was into it, and I still listen to it quite a bit. I think it's pretty good. And the album that came out after that, I wasn't super into. It seemed like more of a poppier thing, but I only listened to it a couple times. Didn't really give it that much of a chance, to tell you the truth. But when around 2015, he started to diversify a little bit, and I watched a YouTube video of him playing with Phil Lesh and friends at Terrapin Crossroads, and this was two performances on June 12th and June 13th, 2015, and this was like the first time we saw him doing something like with the Dead. It was Phil Lesh and friends, But I love those performances. They were really good. He wasn't really channeling Jerry just yet. He was kind of doing his own thing, jamming over Dead tunes, but with respect to Jerry, for sure. And I love those performances. I thought they sounded great. And later on in the year, it was announced that there was going to be another incarnation of the Dead called Dead and Company with Bob Weir, Oteil Burbridge, and a couple other guys, and Mayer. And I was like, okay, this could be cool. This could be cool. I really enjoyed the Phil Lesh and Friends thing, and and then they did it. And I think a lot of people who are Deadheads are super into John Mayer now, or they really like what he's doing anyways. They like his contribution. And then after that, he released a couple singles that I was into for a long time. He had that New Light single that was, fun, poppy, catchy. The video was funny. I like the whole DIY aspect of it. And then the single after that, I guess I just feel like, man, that solo is a vibe, to use the parlance of our times. And that's a song where I've definitely found a jam track and then just soloed over it for ages. And I thought it was really good. I loved it, So I love those two singles. And then that's kind of the last new stuff that we've heard from him for a while until we got Last Train Home. And like I said, I've been listening to it nonstop. This guy is, man, Mayer is qualified, The guy's Berkeley educated, for starters. He has an understanding of not only his instrument, but also theory and composition. He has a greater understanding of that stuff than, 80% of the successful artists out there. Well, maybe not 80%, but, a lot, you know what I mean? Even some of the biggest guitar gods of our time don't have a keen understanding of theory and composition and things like that. But John Mayer does. He absolutely does. He can dissect a song. He can pick out chord progressions and explain it musically. The dude is educated. He knows what he's talking about. And he's played with some of the biggest heavy hitters of our time. And he's played with Clapton, as well as, John Scofield, Buddy Guy, B.B. King. And he's also collaborated with a lot of more current artists, Shawn Mendes, Khalid, Katy Perry, Maren Morris now. And what I like about him too is that he's a real musician's musician. He's got his fingers in all the pies, man. He's a blues guy. He plays blues rock, but he also can play on hip hop. He's got and everybody in these genres, they with Khalid, people who are into hip hop are seeing him now play on Khalid stuff, and then crossover country. He did the CMT Crossroads shows, the first one with Brad Paisley, and then another one with Keith Urban. That show is great. So you can definitely check out John Mayer's Crossroads with Keith Urban. Those two are amazing players, first and foremost, but different genres. And the way they came together in that episode, I thought was really good. So, he's influencing and he's exposing himself to the countryside, more modern pop and hip hop artists, and as well as, old school blues rock guys, and then even the jam band scene. You got a lot of the people who are, touring relentlessly with jam bands going to see John Mayer shows now. A lot of people in tie-dye shirts at John Mayer shows. And I think that's great. That's the point, isn't it? You know what I mean? Like, there's so many people out there who are just stuck in one lane, and that's kind of boring. It's nice to venture out and be fearless, and it really does a lot for the guitar and for the guitar community. He's exposing lots of the new generation to guitar music. I love that he's a Strat guy. I'm a Strat guy. I love Fender Stratocasters, and I love that he's pushing the instrument forward. There's been a lot of companies that have pushed the Stratocaster forward even before him. Like Fender is still making some fantastic Stratocasters, and they're the OG for sure. But Ernie Ball Music Man, Shure is making fantastic Stratocaster type guitars, and now the PRS Silver Sky. Silver Sky is a great guitar. I've played both the Rosewood and the Maple version. I like the Maple version a lot more. I like that satin neck. And I'm a big fan of a Maple fretboard on an S-type guitar. And those pickups are spot on. Man, PRS does not make a bad pickup. those pickups are fantastic. And I think, you know, a lot of Strat players would love them. And, you know, maybe one day I will own a PRS Silver Sky. I do love PRS guitars. I've had a couple, and man, I wouldn't hesitate to buy another one. They sound fantastic. They feel good. And yeah, I love the colors. They're very non-traditional colors on those Silver Skies as well. The Dodge and Blue sounds really cool. But anyways, back to Last Train Home. You know, like I said, it's really fun to jam over, and I'd like to jam over it for just a second. It's more pentatonic looking stuff. Now I might do some more motorcyling. Oh no. You can practice your modes over this, man, you can. Back to the more pentatonic stuff. Anyways, so that's it. I'm gonna leave those mistakes in there. Those mistakes are genuine, you know? I earned those mistakes. But yeah, you know, get this drum track, make a little loop, and have fun playing that. This song is so much fun to jam over. It's super fun to jam over. You know, you could play it endlessly and even switch back and forth between the more pentatonic stuff and then the more modal stuff. You know, that's fun too. It's a great way to practice your scales, you know, whether it be pentatonic or, you know, modal. You can just play over a jam track forever. And this song is so much fun to do that too. So this song is fun to listen to, it's fun to play, and it's fun to jam along with. So, you know, go out there, listen to this song, buy the record when it comes out. Mayer deserves it, man. He really does, you know. And I tell you what, I also love that the gear, the gear videos, the endless gear videos on YouTube where people just talk about his signal chain and his pedals and his guitars and the amps that he uses. And of course, a lot of amps that he uses, you know, his Sandros and his Dumbles and all that stuff. You know, we're never going to play stuff like that, you know, a lot of us anyways. But tell you what, you can get great Mayer tone with just a nice Strat style guitar, a deluxe reverb, and a tube screamer. And to me, that's the Holy Trinity, and I love that Mayer is pushing that Holy Trinity. You know, a Fender guitar, Fender amp, and a T style, you know, our TS Ibanez tube screamer. Those are super cool. You know, you can't get a bad tone. with those three there. So anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Welcome back to Just Guitar Talk another week. I can't wait to see you next time. And if you like this video, then give us a like and a subscribe. You can leave a comment, and if you can leave a question too, I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have. And I want to thank you all again for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Play a little out here.